"By these," answered Leo, stretching out his hands. "I knew it," she answered, "and I blame you not, for fate decreed the death for him, and now it is fulfilled. Still, there are those to whom you must answer for his blood, and I only can protect you from them." "Or betray me to them," said Leo. "Khania, what do you seek?" "That answer which you should have given me this 12 hours gone. Remember, before you speak, that I alone can save your life, aye, and will do it and clothe you with that dead madman's crown and mantle." "You shall have your answer on yonder Mountain," said Leo, pointing to the peak above us, "where I seek mine." She paled a little and replied "To find that it is death, for, as I have told you, the place is guarded by savage folk who know no pity." "So be it. Then death is the answer that we seek. Come, Horace, let us go to meet him." "I swear to you," she broke in, "that there dwells not the woman of your dreams. I am that woman, yes, even I, as you are the man of mine." "Then, lady, prove it yonder upon the Mountain," Leo answered. "There dwells there no woman," Atene went on hurriedly. "Nothing dwells there. It is the home of fire and a voice." "What voice?" "The voice of the Oracle that speaks from the fire, the voice of a Spirit whom no man has ever seen or shall see." "Come, Horace," said Leo, and he moved towards the horse. "Men," broke in the old Shaman, "would you rush upon your doom? Listen. I have visited yonder haunted place, for it was I who, according to custom, brought thither the body of the Khan Atene's father for burial, and I warn you to set no foot within its temples." "Which your mistress said that we should never reach," I commented, but Leo only answered, "We thank you for your warning," and added, "Horace, watch them while I saddle the horse, lest they do us a mischief." So I took the spear in my uninjured hand and stood ready. But they made no attempt to hurt us, only fell back a little and began to talk in hurried whispers. It was evident to me that they were much perturbed. In a few minutes the horse was saddled and Leo assisted me to mount it. Then he said "We go to accomplish our fate, whatever it may be. But before we part, Khania, I thank you for the kindness you have shown us, and pray you to be wise and forget that we have ever been. Through no will of mine your husband's blood is on my hands, and that alone must separate us forever. We are divided by the doors of death and destiny. Go back to your people and pardon me if most unwillingly I have brought you doubt and trouble. Farewell." She listened with bowed head, then replied, very sadly "I thank you for your gentle words, but, Leo Vincey, we do not part thus easily. You have summoned me to the Mountain, and even to the Mountain I shall follow you. Aye, and there I will meet its Spirit, as I have always known I must, and as the Shaman here has always known I must. Yes, I will match my strength and magic against hers, as it is decreed that I shall do. To the victor be the crown for which we have warred for ages." Then suddenly Atene sprang to her saddle, and turning her horse's head rode it back through the water to the shore, followed by old Simbri, who lifted up his crooked hands as though in woe and fear, muttering as he went "You have entered the forbidden river and now, Atene, the day of decision is upon us all, upon us and her, the predestined day of ruin and of war." "What do they mean?" asked Leo of me. "I don't know," I answered, "but I have no doubt we shall find out soon enough and that it will be something unpleasant. Now for this river." Before we had struggled through it, I thought more than once that the day of drowning was upon us also, for in places there were deep rapids which nearly swept us away. But Leo, who waded, leading the Khan's horse by the bridle, felt his path and supported himself with the spear shaft, so that in the end we reached the other bank safely. Beyond it lay a breadth of marshy lands that doubtless were overflowed when the torrent was in flood. Through these we pushed our way as fast as we could, for we feared lest the Khania had gone to fetch her escort. which we thought she might have left behind the rise, and would return with it presently to hunt us down. At that time we did not know, what we learned afterwards, that with its bordering river the soil of the Mountain was absolutely sacred and, in practice, inviolable. True, it had been invaded by the people of Kaloon in several wars, but on each occasion their army was destroyed or met with terrible disaster. Little wonder then they had come to believe that the House of Fire was under the protection of some unconquerable spirit. Leaving the marsh, we reached a bare rising plain, which led to the first slope of the Mountain 3 or 4 miles away. Here we expected every moment to be attacked by the savages of whom we had heard so much, but no living creature did we see. The place was a desert streaked with veins of rock that once had been molten lava. I do not remember much else about it; indeed, the pain in my arm was so sharp that I had no eyes for physical features. At length the rise ended in a bare, broad donga, quite destitute of vegetation, of which the bottom was buried in lava and a debris of rocks washed down by the rain or melting snows from slopes above. This donga was bordered on the farther side by a cliff, perhaps 50 feet in height, in which we could see no opening. Still we descended the place, that was dark and ridged, pervaded, moreover, by an extraordinary gloom, and as we went perceived that its lava floor was sprinkled over with a multitude of white objects. Soon we came to the first of these and found that it was the skeleton of a human being. Here was a veritable valley of dead bones, thousands upon thousands of them, a gigantic graveyard. It seemed as though some great army had perished here. Indeed, we found afterwards that this was the case, for on one of those occasions in the far past when the people of Kaloon had attacked the Mountain tribes, they were trapped and slaughtered in this gully, leaving their bones as a warning and a token. Among these sad skeletons we wandered disconsolately, seeking a path up the opposing cliff and finding none, until at length we came to a halt, not knowing which way to turn. Then it was that we met with our first strange experience on the Mountain. The gulf and its mouldering relics depressed us, so that for a while we were silent, and, to tell the truth, somewhat afraid. Yes, even the horse seemed afraid, for it snorted a little, hung its head and shivered. Close by us lay a pile of bones, the remains evidently of a number of wretched creatures that, dead or living, had been hurled down from the cliff above, and on the top of the pile was a little huddled heap which we took for more bones. "Unless we can find a way out of this accursed charnel house before long, I think that we shall add to its company," I said, staring round me. As the words left my lips it seemed to me that from the corner of my eye I saw the heap on the top of the bones stir. I looked round. Yes, it was stirring. It rose, it stood up, a human figure, apparently that of a woman. But of this I could not be sure, wrapped from head to foot in white and wearing a hanging veil over its face, or rather a mask with cut eye holes. It advanced towards us while we stared at it, till the horse, catching sight of the thing, shied violently and nearly threw me. When at a distance of about 10 paces it paused and beckoned with its hand, that was also swathed in white, like the arm of a mummy. "What the devil are you?" shouted Leo, and his voice echoed drearily among those naked rocks. But the creature did not answer, it only continued to beckon. Leo walked up to it to assure himself that we were not the victims of some hallucination. As he came it glided back to its heap of bones and stood there like a ghost of one dead arisen from amidst these grinning evidences of death, or rather a swathed corpse, for that is what it resembled. Leo followed with the intention of touching it to assure himself of its reality, whereon it lifted its white wrapped arm and struck him lightly on the breast. Then as he recoiled, it pointed with its hand first upwards as though to the peak of the sky, and next at the wall of rock which faced us. He returned to me, saying "What shall we do?" "Follow, I suppose; it may be a messenger from above," and I nodded toward the mountain crest. "From below, more likely," Leo muttered, "for I don't like the look of this guide." Still he motioned with his hand to the creature to proceed. Apparently it understood.